All right. Good Thursday evening, everyone. It is 10:25 p.m. It's July 24th, year of our Lord 2025. We have got a flash flood warning that was just issued for the Amarillo area. There's a narrow band of very heavy rainfall currently set up here, basically on the eastern edge of downtown Amarillo and on the eastern side of town. So if you're in West Amarillo, you haven't seen rain yet, but if you're in this narrow corridor here, you're seeing rain rates anywhere from 2 to 6 inches per hour. We actually are on the very western edge of this precipitation band here at the station. We've had about almost 7/10 of an inch of rain. Current rain rate is 4 inches per hour here. It's only been raining for about 15 minutes or so. And so we're catching a lot of water very quick. So just something to keep in mind. There's going to be some areas that probably become inundated with water here in the near term very quickly. So again, this is one of those nights where you probably don't want to be driving, the vehicle. It's going to be really hard to see some of those inundated roadways with the rainfall that we've got across a portion of the city. Let's go ahead and zoom out just a little bit. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning now down in Randall and Deaf Smith County. That is for penny-sized hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. That complex is heading towards the city, and so if you've missed out on rain so far here across town, it's coming. It's on its way. We also have a flash flood warning down there further south too, which will be in effect until 1:15 a.m. It looks like this one here in town is going to be until 1:30. So we've got a lot of rain. It's going to cause a lot of problems. Flooding is our biggest concern. You can see this is starting to fill in from Amarillo all the way up towards Fritch there, Fritch Fortress, and back up towards Lake Meredith. Dumas seeing some moderate rain. Yeah, we're still about 3.5 inches for the rain rate per hour. It's a really narrow corridor where this rain's fallen. We're approaching 8/10 of an inch per hour, or I'm sorry, 8/10 of an inch since this whole thing started. So here's ABC 7 Amarillo. We are right here. We're literally on the extreme western edge of this band of rain. But again, we've got stuff here further southwest that is filling in. It's going to continue to move off towards the north. And you can see there's a lot of rain down in Canyon as well. Let's take a look down there. They've had 6/10 of an inch of rain. They've had over 2 inches of rain down in Paladuro Canyon State Park. You can bet your bottom dollar that the trails will be closed tomorrow. They're also under a flash flood warning. So rain rate is still 2.8 inches per hour. Again, that is here at the station, ABC7 Amarillo, KVII, for those of you who go, know it by that terms, by its call letters. So you've got a really good complex of storms out here in northeast Amarillo, kind of in that 24th Street and Grand Street, back up towards Hastings, or at least a portion of Hastings in the North Loop 335. Some of those areas are in Eastern Street right here, are seeing some probably rain rates around 4 to 5 inches per hour. So it's definitely going to be coming down in buckets there. But we have a lot more coming from the south. Lake Tanglewood seeing some very intense rain right now. Canyon, you guys are seeing some really a heavy dose of rain at the moment. Dawn, Umbarger, you guys just got caught in this round of storms. They actually picked up over an inch of rain in Hereford, and it only rained there for about 15, 20 minutes. So it's definitely going to produce a lot of precipitation when it comes through. Go ahead and zoom out a little bit. We've got some more storms. We have this severe thunderstorm warning down here in Cottle County. That's going to be in effect until 11:15 p.m. That's for winds up to 60 miles an hour. That's what that storm's going to be warned for. But got a really narrow corridor of just very heavy rain kind of right over the city. This is where we had those two outflow boundaries collide together. And so you're seeing that's where that's set up. The lightning activity is decreasing in this stuff here, so this will probably weaken as it moves into the city. Currently still is severe warned for 60-mile-an-hour winds. That's for Canyon, Dawn, Umbarger, all those areas kind of down the Highway 60 corridor. The lightning activity is decreasing in that general area. It still is some static discharges out there, but not a crazy amount. What's actually producing a lot of the static discharges right now is this small section right here from Fritch down to Masterson, kind of on on Fritch Highway. That's where you're picking up about 80% of all the lightning discharges here over the last 10 minutes across the whole Texas Panhandle. You mind hanging back for a little while? Yeah. So if you guys just now jumped on, kind of wondering what the heck's going on, we've got a really nice complex of storms moving in through Potter and Randall County. There was this narrow band that's set up. This is what kind of got things started. We've actually had over an inch of rain here at the station before it even started raining in some of these other areas. Like it hasn't even started raining on the northwest loop yet. But we've got this storm complex moving right through the city. Canyon is seeing some pretty intense rain rates, 607 inch per minute. So that is a very intense rain rate. And that whole storm is moving north up through the city, here through Lake Tanglewood, through the Amarillo area, expecting just a deluge of water. This is why we've got that flash flood warning in effect until 1:30 this morning. It's going to be in effect until 1:15 for areas like Canyon, Dawn, and Umbarger. They've had 3/4 of an inch of rain in Canyon so far today. We've already had over an inch here. It's at 1.12. There's a crazy amount of water coming out of this thunderstorm. We talked about this earlier this afternoon. The precipitable water values are at like an inch and a half. That's the water vapor in the atmosphere. We're at 1.2 inches of rain. Some areas are going to start to flood if they haven't already. The eastern half of town, you guys are going to start seeing some of this flooding a little bit more readily than the western half of town is. The western side of town actually just started seeing rain here within the last 5 to 10 minutes, but we've had rain for about a half hour here at the station, and we are seeing an intense rain rate of 4 to 5 inches per hour. So we're at it's possible a portion of the city is going to get 2 to 4 inches of rain tonight. We're seeing a rain rate of I have to do the math on that one. That one's per minute. Okay. So the rain rate's over 8 inches per hour in southeast Amarillo right now. There's an intense amount of rain falling to the surface down here in southeast Amarillo. Rain rate over 8 inches per hour being observed currently down there on this side of town. That's going to cause a tremendous amount of flooding issues in some of those low-lying areas. So you don't want to be driving around town this evening. Some of those more prone areas will be that usually flood are going to be problematic for the rest of this evening. Again, we're probably going to pick up 2 to 4 inches of rain here across the city through the next hour or two. Thank you. Rain rate's 9 inches an hour right now here at the station. That's just nuts. We're at on 1.4 inches of rain. Inch and a half of rain. Picked up another 1/10 of an inch here in about 90 seconds. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it on the roof. It is coming down. I mean, you can see this whole thing. I mean, the southeast half of Amarillo is getting absolutely pulverized by some intense rain rates. Probably the northeast side of town, too, is getting hit pretty hard. Northwest Amarillo, you've hardly seen any rainfall. A lot of those intense rain rates are in the southeast half of the city, really that southeast corner. Amarillo just gusted to 68 miles an hour, so there's going to be a new severe thunderstorm warning that's issued for Potter and Randall County. That's going to be for the city of Amarillo. We just had a wind gust observed at 68 on the southeast side of town. So the nice thing is it's probably only going to rain for an hour, hour and a half, but we're still going to probably see a lot of 3 and 4 inch rain totals. Ooh, there's a really big shelf cloud coming in to South Amarillo right now. Y'all got to look at this. Come on, camera. Rain rates generally have been around 2 to 5 inches per hour. There's been an instantaneous rain rate measured as high as 8 inches per hour in southeast Amarillo. We are approaching 2 inches of rain here at the station. It's rained since about 10:03 and it hasn't stopped. Let's jump back over to radar so you guys can see where the heaviest rain is falling. So you can see we've got a few other clustered thunderstorms making their way up towards Childress too. Paducah, there still is that severe thunderstorm warning down there. We've got an outflow boundary that is going to be sent out from this storm. I mean, you can already see it moving. Looks like it may end up colliding with a possible outflow boundary from some of these other storms here over Pampa. This stuff out here, you can actually see this outflow boundary towards the end right here. It's approaching from the northeast. And then we've also got this outflow boundary approaching from the west. So we may see some rapid development of some thunderstorms here in about 30, 45 minutes in and around Pampa, which will be something to keep an eye on. The southeast half of Amarillo, it's going to see probably 3 to 5 inches of rain. It's going to be a lot of water. We're getting close to 2 inches of rain here in town, in downtown, and we've got a lot of rain still left to go. There's probably going to be some pockets of 5 inches worth of rain here over the city. That's going to cause some pretty significant amounts of flooding. You guys don't need to be driving around through those low-lying areas. It only takes 6 inches of water to sweep you off your feet. It only takes a foot of water to sweep a car off the road. Again, there's going to be some spots in town where vehicles are going to stall out. It's going to be too deep of water for you to drive through. You don't need to be driving through it anyway, but you're going to experience some of that here across parts of town. The southeast side of Amarillo is going to be the worst side, given that they've had a lot of that heavier rain rates. Again, really from downtown Amarillo, really from I-27 here. We'll just kind of circle those areas that we would be most concerned about some serious flooding issues. Be right kind of in this general area. So excluding maybe a small section on the east side of Amarillo, but there's going to be a lot of flooded roadways down here in south side of town, back down here south of I-27 here in southern Amarillo, northeast Amarillo, back up probably towards like northeast 24th, Grand, Eastern Streets. Some of these areas up here are going to see probably some significant flooding issues. And then we've got, again, this whole complex that's continuing to push in from the south. So this is going to continue to wet the rest of the city with some heavy rainfall. So that new severe thunderstorm warning, again, you can see it there. It's in effect until 11:30 p.m. That's going to be for those 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts that could be possible with this round of thunderstorms. Smith County is going to be removed from this severe thunderstorm warning. You'll see this reflected here soon, that this warning that you see in Smith County, the yellow flashing polygon, is going to be trimmed. So only the portion in Randall County is going to be, there it goes, it just updated. So you can see that it got trimmed over to Randall County. So Smith County no longer in that severe thunderstorm warning. Rain rates are coming down. We're at 1.7 inches per hour currently at our instantaneous rain rate. We are probably going to be at about 2 inches of rain here in about 2 to 3 minutes. There's most certainly some flooded roadways out there. If you're in the southeast side of town, that's going to be the worst spots right now. The 7 miles southeast of downtown Amarillo, they picked up 1.32 inches of rain in 17 minutes. So, from a longer duration rain rate, that's about 4.5 inches per hour. So that's generally what we've been seeing from some of these better thunderstorms. Is those rain rates have been maintained for longer durations, upwards of 4 to 6 inches per hour. Ours hasn't been quite that high here over downtown. Here at KVII, ABC7 Amarillo, we are at 1.96 inches of rain through the last 50 minutes. So we still have 10 more minutes before we get to that 1 hour mark when it started raining. It started at about 10:03, 10:04, give or take a minute or two. So our rain rate's going to be here in downtown. It's going to be somewhere in that like 2 to 3 inches per hour. Just depends on if we get another batch of very heavy rain to come push through here. But I mean, you guys know as well as I do, when we even get an inch of rain very quickly, we're going to have problems. It looks like there's some stranded vehicles. Looks like there could be as much as 2 feet of water on some of the roads here in downtown, and we haven't even been in the worst of it. So vehicles are starting to become stranded. So Fillmore Street, just south of downtown Amarillo, has got some vehicles stranded on it. Looks to be about 2 feet of water standing in the road right now. Looks like those cars are floating. Could be more than that. Rain rate has slowed. We are down to 0.65 inches per hour now. So it looks like some of these rain rates are going to be coming down some. You can see some of those brighter pinks no longer showing up on the map, at least not as pronounced as they once were. I mean, you could see it briefly. It was for 5 minutes or so. There was probably a 6 to 10 inch an hour rain rate down there in southeast Amarillo. Those pinks that you see there have started to subside. It doesn't look like there's really much of that inside this group of storms anymore. We're at 2.03 inches of rain measured here at KVII. There are reports of vehicles stranded on Fillmore Street. Looks to be probably 2 to 3 feet of water on the road there. Can we do a cut in, Tyree? And just, yeah, we're just gonna kind of go for several minutes. So just tell them to just kind of be ready to take it back. You guys are about to get an update on your phone, a WIA alerts, wireless emergency alert. They're upgrading the flash flood warning to a considerable one. We do have stranded vehicles on Fillmore Street. There's the emergency alert. It's going to be in effect until 2 o'clock this evening. Are you guys ready? Can you tell them it's a flooding emergency? So we're at 2.1 inches of rain so far here in downtown Amarillo. Rain rates picked up to an inch an hour a little bit, so it's come up some since the last 5 minutes or so. Unfortunately, there's a lot of low-lying areas that have probably got several feet of water in them. There are some reports, confirmed reports of vehicles stranded on Fillmore Street, just south of downtown Amarillo. So you guys don't need to be driving through the city right now, especially here in downtown and the southeast side of the city. That's where the worst of this flooding is ongoing right now. We've had between 2 to 4 inches of rain here in the city, specifically in downtown area proper. So just make sure that you guys are not staying in any. Good Thursday evening, everyone. We're breaking into programming to cover that considerable flash flood warning that was just issued recently for mostly downtown Amarillo. We've actually had about 2.2 inches of rain here at the station. That's been observed. We've been seeing rain rates as high as 6 inches per hour. There are confirmed stranded vehicles observed there on Fillmore Street here just south of downtown. Appears to be probably a couple feet of water standing in some of those roadways down there. All the low-lying areas here in downtown Amarillo, that's kind of what you can expect. Probably a few feet of water in them. You don't need to be driving through them. So again, this is a flash flood warning. It's a considerable threat. So if you're in a low-lying area, you need to seek higher ground. If you're traveling or plan to be traveling here in the near future, you may want to postpone that, especially if you've got to travel through I-40, I-27, really just through the city. That's where we've been seeing those rain rates at a very high level. At one point here in the southeast side of town, you can see all these really dark reds and pinks showing up. There was briefly for about 4 or 5 minutes an instantaneous rain rate of 8 inches an hour. So, I mean, that's an absolute deluge of water coming down very quickly. Obviously, drainage systems are not going to be able to handle this amount of water in this short period of time. So again, that's why you need to avoid those low-lying areas because they will have several feet of water in them with this heavy rain continuing. Current rain rate here at the station is just shy of an inch per hour. We've had 2.14 inches of rain that's been measured. Let's go ahead and take a broader view of the entire viewing area. Again, the considerable flash flood emergency is here in town, but we're still dealing with these pockets of very heavy rain across the city. Further to the south, still probably going to rain for another hour or so. And this big group of storms continues to push across Amarillo right now. We've got a small group of storms decaying there around Plainview. We've got a couple of other clustered storms making their way through the southeast panhandle. But the worst of this really looks to be centered right over Amarillo proper. So again, if you planned on traveling, definitely should postpone that. Some of these rain rates are going to cause some significant flooding in some low-lying areas. So just make sure that you aren't traveling. Don't drive through those flooded roadways. There's several feet of standing water in some of them. It's already been a confirmed report of a couple of stranded vehicles on Fillmore Street, just south of downtown Amarillo. So just make sure that you guys are being safe. Make sure you're doing the smart thing and just avoiding those areas that could have some of that water in there. We're going to get you back to programming for now. If you want to stay up to date with us with Storm Surge 7, you can scan that QR code on the left-hand side of your screen, and that's going to keep you weather aware with us here at Storm Surge 7. So it looks like the heaviest rain is still kind of over the city right now, kind of back towards Bushland and Wildorado or Wildorado. You don't have to have that running in my face. I think it's okay. Oh, you still have it? Is this network? Look at you. I'm gonna turn my mic off then. Rain rates just very heavy rain just moving across downtown Amarillo. So you can see the rain seems to be moderating. Again, the reflectivity values have come down some. We're still dealing with a rain rate of 1 inch per hour here in downtown Amarillo. Hey, Blake. Yeah, it's on Fillmore Street south of downtown. So it's like I think it's right next. From what I saw, it looked like it was right near the junction of 27 and 40. It's yeah, it's basically where Fillmore meets into I-27 is probably where it's at because there's a bridge that you can see in the image. So I'm assuming that that's probably either one of the on or off ramps or probably the interstate or probably I-40 itself. But there's probably 2 or 3 feet of water standing in the road. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. Bye. So let's go ahead and jump back over to Cottle County. We do have that one severe thunderstorm warning there. Um, it's the wrong button. There we go. So we still have the severe thunderstorm warning for Amarillo. Honestly, haven't really seen damaging winds here. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning for these decaying thunderstorms out here until 11:15 p.m. That should be allowed to expire soon. But we're going to be dealing probably with some winds gusting to around 60 to 70 out here. Childress just had some winds gusting close to 70 miles an hour with this storm here. So it's likely producing some severe wind gusts. It's not warned up there right now, but they did see some really strong winds come pushing into that area as well. You can see the outflow boundaries seem to be colliding there around Gray and Roberts County. You're starting to see a lot of development out there with these other storms. White Deer, you're under a nice sheet of very heavy rain right now. You're probably dealing with a similar situation that we were dealing with here in Amarillo not too long ago. We're still dealing with the aftermath effects of that, where we've had, 2 to 3 inches of rain very quickly, and that's led to 2 to 3 feet of water starting to fill up and pond in some of the low-lying areas. Some of the drainage systems just can't keep up with it. Rain rates have generally been between 2 and 5 inches per hour. Our rain rate for over a whole hour, this was just observed, was like one was 2.14, and so our rain rate was a little higher than 2 inches an hour, and that was held consistent through a 60-minute period. That wasn't just 5 or 15 minutes. That was a whole 60-minute period where we ended up getting over 2 inches of rainfall. So it was sustained through the whole hour from when it first started raining to when we got to that 1 hour mark. It has slowed down some. We're at 2.27 inches of rain now, so it's obviously slowing down. I can still hear it on the roof. It's just it's not an intense amount of rain. Definitely seems to be slowing down, and radar would support that too. You can see again it's becoming, more yellows and oranges rather than those reds and pinks where you've got the intense rain falling. But you've probably got some 2 to 3 inch in our rain rates out here between Washburn and St. Francis, just south of Pantex right there, probably starting to get in on some of that heavier rainfall that's close to 2 to 3 inches per hour. Biggest thing is we've got the considerable flash flood warning down here in downtown Amarillo. You can see that one that just kind of circles the center of the city, and really from I-27 up through downtown, just to east of Wonderland Park. There's going to be areas in here that probably picked up 2 to 4 inches of rain. And that's where you're going to have those worst flooding impacts. That's just where we had the rain start first and the earliest, and it's just persisted for most of the evening in some of those areas. And so that's something to certainly expect to have the worst flooding issues. And this is where you're going to probably have several feet of water in some low-lying spots. Good news is this looks like it'll probably be the last round of storms for us, at least on a more scattered and broad level. A lot of this stuff's going to start moving up into the northeast panhandle. This area is probably going to pick up 1 to 4 inches of rain as well. We had kind of talked about that earlier this evening, that the parameters are there for widespread heavy rainfall. Rain rates are coming down. So they're going to let the severe thunderstorm warning expire for Amarillo. Looks like the heaviest of the rain is coming to an end for the city. So hopefully we'll start to see some improvement in the drainage areas. We can't rule out another thunderstorm through tonight, but it should be mostly very isolated and very quick hitting if it were to happen. The next concern is going to be up here in the northeast panhandles, where they're going to be seeing the same concerns that we just went through here in Amarillo. All right, so let's go ahead and just run around the horn. So we've got that aerial flood advisory up here now in parts of Hutchinson County, east and northeast of Stinnett. Nice rumble of thunder there. Hey, Blake. Yeah, I would. So if you're looking for the worst of it, it's probably going to be like from downtown, like I-27 and Fillmore Street, east of there, because that's where that initial line of rains and that thunderstorms set up was like right on top of the station, and then east of us. They're exiting the I-40 which way? You think Grand Street's flooded? Grand Street might be flooded then. At Washington. So you're like you're west of downtown then. Okay. All right, thanks. So it sounds like Washington, I-40 is closed at Washington. So Washington Street runs right here, and I-40 runs underneath it. There is water pooled up on the interstate. The interstate I-40 is at a standstill east and westbound due to flooding. Can we do another cut in, Tyreek? You there, Tyreek? Tyreek? Can we do another cut in? Okay. Good Thursday evening, everyone. Breaking back into program to give you a quick update. I-40 west and eastbound is closed currently, according to one of our storm chasers, Blake Brown. He says that all traffic's being diverted to the frontage roads due to water just standing there in the interstate. Again, we don't know if there's any stranded vehicles down there, but there's enough water that vehicles can't drive through it. And so the interstate is at a standstill, again, as some of those vehicles try and manage their way back up to the frontage road. So we've had a lot of water recently. Again, that's caused a lot of issues. Fillmore Street's got a lot of water on it just south of downtown. We do know that there's at least a few vehicles stranded there. So similar situations probably across a good chunk of downtown, the downtown portions of the city, especially along I-27 north and then just east of there. Again, we had that band of rain set up early on around 10 o'clock, and then we had that rain persist in those same areas through the rest of this evening. So that's probably where the worst of our flooding is going to be here for the next hour or two. We do have that considerable flash flood warning in effect until 2 o'clock this morning. It does look like there is some flooding down at Paladuro Canyon State Park. There's about 3 feet of water on the State Park Road down there on the south portion of the park, closer to the Lighthouse Trail. So Road 5 is shut down and closed there. Again, if you know anyone that's down there camping, just know that there is just maybe one, they probably already know at this point, but just make sure they do that. Again, there is some flooding ongoing down there at Palo Canyon State Park as well. Let's go ahead and take a look down to the southeast. We did just have that one severe thunderstorm warning expire there in Cottle County. We have seen some strong wind gusts out of those, even though they don't look that impressive. Looks like we've got another cluster of storms coming in from Matador. Those are moving to the north and east as well. I do want to go ahead and show you from a broad view of the whole viewing area. While we are dealing with still flooding issues here in downtown Amarillo, looks like a lot of this rain is starting to fill in across the northeast portion of the panhandle. So you're going to start seeing some of those rain rates of 2 to 4 inches per hour. If that falls on urban areas, it's going to cause some flooding issues, specifically in places like Borger, Pampa, Amarillo, Perryton, Canadian. You guys got these storms starting to move in that direction as well. But really anywhere here in the Northeast, when you get caught under some of these storms, it's going to come down very quick. So that flooding will set in very fast. That's all we're going to talk about for right now. We're going to get you back to programming. We are live on YouTube. If you want to stay up to date with us here at the Weather Center, you can tune into our YouTube page and stay weatherware with us there. Okay. So we've had some widespread 2 to 3 inches of rain here across portions of Amarillo. There's some other areas that didn't see that much rain, but the whole city did see precipitation this evening. But we had 2.33 inches of rain here in downtown. Pampa, you guys are seeing some very heavy rain right now. You're likely dealing with rain rates on that 2 to 4 inch per hour rate currently. We have not seen any rain being observed at the West Texas Mesonet site, but it is on the east side of town, so it probably just started raining there here within the last couple of minutes. They've had 1.2 inches of rain in Panhandle, still raining down there. You guys getting another nice moderate round of rain. They've had anywhere from 8/10 of an inch to 1.2 inches of rain at Pantex, the north side of town. really is missed out, like the far north side of town, areas like 9, 10 miles north of downtown, up in here, have only seen like a tenth of an inch of rain. They had an inch of rain at Boys Ranch. They had 2 inches of rain in Canyon. Paladuro Canyon State Park had 2.23 inches of rain. So it does look like there still is a little bit of some static discharge happening here on the southwest side of town, back into Randall County, according to the lightning mapping array we have here in the Panhandle. That's just indicating that there still is a little bit of convection that's still just moving through. It looks like it's mostly falling apart. You can see it just kind of dissipating there over Bushland and Wildorado. We've got a few heavier showers north of the interstate at this point, but looks like that heavier rain is pretty well done here for the city. Still looks like it's raining at least lightly there in Bushland. The worst of this stuff is now going to be in the northeast panhandle. We have that aerial flood advisory in effect until 2:15 a.m. up there in parts of Roberts, Hutchinson, Hansford, and Ochiltree County. Some of those areas are going to see anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain. Just due to the nature of these storms, are going to produce a lot of rain. They're very slow movers. Campsites were evacuated down in Paladuro Canyon just due to flooding ongoing down there. So I'm going to show you some video sent in by Blake Brown. So this is Washington Street. This is what it currently looks like down there. Obviously, you've got probably a foot of water standing there underneath Washington. You can see there's one stranded car down there. There's a few vehicles just kind of at a standstill. But this is east and westbound. You can see the Fairleigh group. So again, here's your eastbound lanes. Here's your westbound lanes. You can see obviously closed just due to the flooding out there. That's probably the situation that we have in numerous areas here across the city. I mean, we had a wide swath of downtown pick up 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. So this is probably a fairly common sight that you're going to see in some of those low-lying areas. So just something to certainly not be um, shocked by if you're out and about this evening. Again, I would encourage you not to drive through any of those flooded roadways. You may suffer the same fate that vehicle did down there, where they stalled out and did not make it. Hopefully they're all okay. See what Pampa, you guys have picked up. See, 2/10 of an inch of rain here in the last 10 minutes, less than that, 5 minutes. So you're seeing a pretty high rain rate out there. Worst of the rain is from Panhandle to White Deer, coming through Pampa and Skellytown, and then up to the north, kind of moving through parts of Robertson, Hutchinson County. A lot of that's going to be in rural areas pretty soon. LaFour is dealing with some pretty heavy rainfall. Hey, which street was that under the railroad tracks that was flooded that you sent video of? Yeah, like I'm trying to. Was is that the one that splits, like from 3 lanes to two? Oh, Buchanan. That was Buchanan Street. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was Buchanan or if it was of Fillmore. Okay. And you didn't see any on Fillmore Street if you drove past it? Huh. That's wild. And that was right there at the interstate you were looking? Buchanan. Okay. 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 Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, bud. See ya. So it looks like Buchanan Street under the railroad tracks is also has standing water. So Deer Ridge subdivision, 4 miles east northeast of downtown, had 3.1 inches of rain. Downtown Canyon had 2.75 at Abernathy Fence on I-27 and Cemetery Road. Panhandle's up to 1.86 inches of rain now. Heavy rain just finished there in Pampa. Still raining pretty hard in Skellytown. All that's going to be moving up towards Miami and Roberts County. Canadian, you guys are in a lull of activity right now. Looks like you had a quick shower pass to the north of you not too long ago. Spearman under some really heavy rain currently. So these storms are below severe limits, so that's the silver lining to this. So you can see there's some really heavy rain there falling over in Spearman right now. You guys starting to see some moderate to heavy rainfall. We do have that aerial flood advisory in effect until 2:15 a.m. We have seen some pockets of 1 to 3 inches of rain out here around Skellytown, Pampa, in the White Deer area. They've had almost 2 inches of rain in Panhandle. They've had about a half inch of rain in Pampa so far. Looks like, again, some of these numbers might be a little bit less impressive compared to some other areas, but we do have, again, still some flooding ongoing in Amarillo. It should start to improve here soon with all that rain starting to subside and at least weaken considerably. We do have some light sprinkles still kind of over town right now, but for the most part, we're just dealing with, again, some low-lying areas that are inundated with water. Things are quieting down. We will still, again, probably hang around for another 15, 20 minutes or so. Based on recent trends, looks like this is going to be the area to keep a watchful eye on is from Spearman to basically Perryton up towards Beaver and then down towards Canadian and back towards Mobeetie to Pampa. This is going to be the area that sees, again, some significant rainfall through the rest of tonight. There again, the communities are going to have the biggest issue for the flood concerns or some of the tributaries like your creeks and streams, things like that. So right now, the National Weather Service, they're most concerned about the Northeast, which we kind of talked about that. Um, Palo Duro Canyon State Park update. Park Road 5 is closed from Lighthouse through Cactus Day, day use area. All park trails are going to be closed due to the rain event. All campers have been notified, and some of the campgrounds were evacuated due to up to 2 feet of water over the road near some of the campgrounds. Strongest core storms is from basically Miami all the way up towards Spearman. That's right up in here in the Northeast Panhandle. So basically from LaForce to Miami to Spearman is where we are expecting rain rates to be in that 2 to 3 inch per hour range. That's pretty much what we saw from a wide stance across the city of Amarillo. Still looks like it's sprinkling outside. We're at 2.35 inches of rain. We've had 2/100 of an inch in the last half hour. So still not quite done raining, but the drainage systems can keep up with water at that rate. So we should start seeing some improvement here soon. So we have that new aerial flood advisory until 3 a.m. That's going to be for areas like Spearman. This is actually going to be, I know it's not great for Spearman, but this watershed here actually runs into Palo Duro Reservoir. And Palo Duro Reservoir has been notoriously known for not holding very much water. So this would be a good thing for them. Currently, it is at 1.2 percent full. That's the capacity. Only has 704 acre feet of water stored in it right now, and it can store up to 61,000. But that lake's generally never been more than a few percent full. So this falling in that watershed actually is a good thing for the reservoir itself. That was actually built to supply water to some of these communities up here, but they've never drawn from it just because it doesn't have enough water in it. So would love to see it catch a little bit of some runoff. I do think we're probably going to end your live. Things seem to be calming down a little bit. We do expect still to be some minor flooding inconveniences up here in the Northeast Panhandle. Again, a lot of this stuff is open country. It's fairly rural. It's not going to cause detrimental flooding in specific areas. I don't think it is moving pretty quick. We could still see anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain out here, but again, a lot of this is farm and ranch land. Just make sure that you're staying outside of the riverbeds, the channels for the Canadian River, places like that. Canadian, you guys haven't really seen much rain recently, but this stuff is heading in y'all's direction too. So don't be shocked to, if you get an inch to 2 inches of rain tonight. Again, the rain rates are going to come down quick, but this is starting to propagate to the northeast. We just have the flood advisories for now. If anything changes, we will let you know. But things are on a quieter side compared to what they were, an hour or two ago when we were getting some extremely high rain rates here in downtown Amarillo. So we're going to end your live here. I do appreciate you guys tuning in this evening. Just make sure you're staying weather aware. Again, if we do get any kind of considerable or emergency flash flood threat, that will get posted to your phone automatically should you fall inside of that warning. So just make sure that you've got those WIA alerts turned on, just in the event that you do need to wake up and move to higher ground if you live in a low-lying area. Again, that's just the areas that we would be most concerned about is the ones that are low-lying in nature. But thank you for tuning in and staying weather aware with us. We will let you get back to the rest of your evening. We just got a lot of heavy rain still moving through the northeast panhandle, but all of these storms are below severe limits, just producing